It's day 216 of Zohar Pshat, and we're on Daf Lamed of Aleph. And a lot of Chazar here from the Akdama. We're up to the 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16th line down. Sumaram Enechem Ru Mi Bara Ela. Lift up your eyes on high and look and see who created these. So this goes back to the word mi and Ela, which the Akdama Zohar spoke a lot about. Mi bara Ela. Vainu Raza de Kamran, that's the thing we say, mi beten mi yetzaha kerach. Of course, the kerach we spoke about a few days ago is the frozen sea, which comes down here, which is the shefa, which waits for the Baal Chesed, the person who learns Torah Lishma, comes to unlock. Vadai, who the kaim l'shelta. So he says, at this point, you can ask questions. The leis l'shala, you can't ask mal ela mal tata, what's above, what's below. In other words, the questions in Maseches Chagig, which says not to ask, those we don't ask, because they do with the ayin before the yesh. But this is the yesh, which exists after Kodesh Baruch Hu began the process of creation. El l'shala, to ask, Asa nafkan leminda. This is the place from which they come out to know. V'lo leminda le. Not that we can actually know it. In other words, as the saying goes, tachlis idea shalom neda. The ultimate knowledge is that we can't know, but we can't fully know. We can ask questions. We can grasp part of it. Do lo yichlin, you can't fully grasp. El kaim l'shilta v'lo leminda le. You can ask the question. Not that you're going to know the answer. You know, it's like Rabbi Avraham Elia writes about Yismach Mevakshi Hashem, that sometimes the answers come on their own accord. Even if we don't see, we can't find the answers in a direct way. The questions disappear, the questions get diminished. But you have to ask the question. And then you can sense the answer, like Tamuru Kitov Hashem. So the question should be asked. The answer, you're not going to go to full answer. Of course not. How can you understand how the Bria works to the full extent? Certainly not while we're within this world. So, but ask the question. These are questions we encourage you to ask. We want you to ask these questions. Bracious. Beis Rashis. Rashis Maimaru, because I'll say Rashis is the first thing with which the world is created, so this is where you start asking questions. Neymar, Bereshis to you Maimar. Or you can say that perhaps it's not in Rashis, but Bereshis, the base is also part of the Maimar. Of course, I could spend a long time discussing that, but but it says Ad lo nafik ispashit chele, the before. If you hold that Bereshis is the mimer with the base, before it came out and extended the power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu into this world, v'kula sasim bay, everything is hidden in it, Bereshis, right? It was in Rashis. In other words, Bereshis umamar. So everything was in Rashis, and so the base is part of it. It's not at the beginning. But at the beginning, there was everything was included in Rashis. Then once everything came and expanded, and this comes back to our Big Bang of the Akdama Zohar. So now it's Rashis. So everything big Rashis, as they say in Yiddish, licht in the Rashis, within the Rashis, and then we began. And it's a statement into himself. Okay, so it's not clear. I think what the Zohar Kodesh is saying is that Beis is a mimer and Rashis is a mimer. Actually, not Bereshis is a mimer and Rashis is a mimer. It's still not more than 10 mamoros. We don't get 11th mimer, but this could be like a hidden mimer. In other words, that there's within the 10, just like we have in the spheres, we have 10 spheres, and within the 10 we have the 11th. If you include das, so within the 10 mamoros, within the 10 mamoros, which was created, there's 11th one. Within the Bereshis, there's also Rashis. Within the rachis, before the rachis, there's also bir rachis. Perhaps that's a better way of doing it. Perhaps to say that keser, because the base represents keser, and then rachis is chachma. Rachis chachma yos Hashem. So I think that probably is a better way of understanding it. So the bir rachis, then there is this idea that there's also the rachis which exists, the base of rachis which makes bracious into the mimer. Came a navi, and it's a statement unto itself. Me, shel tahu bar elam, and evidently this is the question of me. And again, going back to the beginning of the Zohar Kodesh, the first question asked is me. Even before you get to the Eila, right? Me, bara, Eila. You have the me and the Eila. But the first question asked is me, and that's where things come out. And then, of course, you get Elokim from the Eila and the Yud Mem. But Sarka, Ispashi, Ishtachel, is Abed Yam. Right? You start with the me. Then there comes Eila. And then when it expands, it becomes the Yam, which comes down here before, down here below, first frozen sea, as we spoke about, and it's Elokim. Uvara l'tato v'kula avid, and it creates down below, and everything is made as it's made on high. This corresponds to that. And this corresponds to that. V'tarvayu base, and that's a base together. Here's the base of bracious, perhaps again. In other words, the bracious is, and this would be afterwards, not before. Base, bracious, top and the bottom. So interesting whether the base come before rachis or come after rachis, could be both.